Tra-laa-laaaaaaa. Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell, and this is once again coming from my apartment. Now today we're going to be talking about the film Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. Now this is a series which I grew up with as a kid in regards to the books. I love these books. These books probably were my introduction to manga growing up as a kid. I read them all throughout elementary school, and I love them. And then I eventually just stopped reading them because I got into other things. But these books have always been something which I have really appreciated and really enjoyed growing up. Now the fact that we have a movie version of them is fantastic. And so I was very excited and a little bit skeptical on seeing Captain Underpants as a movie in theaters, but let's talk about it. If you're not familiar, the idea of Captain Underpants, at least with the comics and the books and stuff, is that we have these two kids, George and Harold. They are artists and creative geniuses who like to come up with stories about Captain Underpants, and they write comics and stories about his life and his adventures. They also have a very mean principal along with very other mean teachers who they write and make villains for Captain Underpants. And one day when they're called into their principal's office, one of them puts on a hypno ring and is able to hypnotize their principal into thinking that he is Captain Underpants, and we have our adventures. DreamWorks produced and I think developed the movie, and they made Captain Underpants extremely likable. He is probably my favorite part of the whole movie himself because he's just such a joy to see, and he's such an idiot as well. The animations in this film look really, really good, really well done, very crisp, and they are true to the DreamWorks-esque formula that they do for a lot of their animations. Just looks very true to the books themselves, and so they don't really stray away from those animations, which is good. And they just keep it all very, very neat. Kevin Hart and Thomas Middleditch, they play George and Harold respectively, and they do really good jobs in those roles, and I really enjoyed their performances in regards to voice acting. Ed Helms does Principal Krupp and Captain Underpants, and again, really fun performance by him. Nick Kroll plays Professor Poopy Pants, who is the main villain of this film. And one thing which I really appreciate that this film did is that it provided backstory for its two central villains, Mr. Krupp and Professor Poopy Pants, because they are introduced as bad guys. One of them wants to break apart George and Harold's friendship, the other one wants to eliminate laughter from the world, but you see where they're coming from to an extent. You see their backgrounds, you see their presence, and you see maybe there's a reason behind why they are like they are. And so I really like that they gave the extra dimension to these characters instead of maybe saving that for a sequel or something. There's also still a lot of humor, at least for me personally, throughout this film. I found myself chuckling a lot throughout the course of it. There were kids in my theater who were laughing a lot throughout certain parts of the film. So there's a lot of things which work really well in this movie. I did feel like the film slowed down a little bit in regards to the excitement when Captain Underpants was off the screen, and it was just focusing on George and Harold. They were fun characters, but the film is about Captain Underpants. I want to see him in action and doing funny antics. And when he's not doing that on screen, the film isn't quite as good as it could be. I did like the ending though, like about the last half hours where this film really starts to get picked up and it starts to move into what could be the potentials for future installments in this movie franchise if they decide to do it that way. But guys, overall, I thought that Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, was a fun time. I enjoyed reliving my childhood through this film. I enjoyed seeing these characters on screen. Captain Underpants was done fantastically, and it's just a fun time overall. I do feel like though that this franchise might do a little bit better on like a Netflix format where it does like 13 episodes. It does a similar format as Series of Unfortunate Events does, where they do about 2 to 3 episodes per installment. So that you don't just have a movie every 2 years which is focusing on another villain, because there's a bunch of villains and stories in this series. And so to capture them all, they probably won't, and the quality will probably go down by that point. And so I feel like moving this into a Netflix type of format might work a little bit better in the show's favor. You can cut down to 60-minute installments, really dive into these characters a little bit more, and make it more fun. Well, that's just my opinion. Personally, if the movie does well, they'll probably make a second one in 2 years, like I said, but we'll see what happens. Hey guys, those are just my thoughts on Captain Underpants. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe once again if you so choose. I'd appreciate it immensely. And as always, my people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on watching.